If you can't tell where he is here, I don't know how to help you. Obviously, this is a Twitter play. Yeah, good movement, man. And this is another thing where you see him start to adjust his angle because ideally here, yes, he wants to get super flat. But just to take the path of least resistance, right? The less bubbling he has to do, the less depth he gains, the quicker he gets to the linebacker level, right? But he's noticing some penetration, some flashes of gray, so you could see him just like slightly bend it a little bit more to the outside right there, which we like. I don't know if he throws like that chicken wing as he's passing again. Yep, you see he pulls his shoulder through, keeps that arm up there. It's a good job just protecting his chest. It's such little things that can make a good player from a bad player. Um, good angle to 51. Lowers his helmet for that contact, hand onto the ribs. He tries to extend. You have Tippmann who kind of places his arm to the bicep right there just to hold him very slightly and just take him to the turf where he's already going. But he assists him in getting to that level, finish the block. We love that. So let's watch it again. It's a pretty nice pull from Tippmann right there. Understanding the guy's 6'6" too. Like he's not a squatty 6'3", 6'4". It's harder for bigger guys to move at times. So tip 3 blocks, calm. Okay. Center. Yeah, very, like he's definitely better. I would say pass game versus run game. I like him better in the pass game. Now, obviously, if we're talking about his best strength, it's pulling, but you're not going to pull on every single play as a center, right? You're more likely to pull as a guard. I would say even more so as a tackle, with all the counter, dart plays. There's a ton of stuff, but nonetheless, for Tippmann here, the ability to assist on 3 blocks or to get on 3 blockers. So we have another slide here from the offensive lineman, Gilligan, Island, man blocking. They're all zone blocking. They all shuffle to their left in their gap protection. What do we have from Tippmann? We have an overlap technique, different from a drag hand. Overlap is to and a drag hand is for both too, but drag hand is more for him to gain information. This is a good thing to do, especially when you know it's a slide because you're just letting the other offensive lineman to his left here know that he's there, right? Like he could have been pulled the opposite way if he doesn't feel that hand. Okay, he's not as confident that somebody may be crossing his face is going to be picked up. When that hand is there, he knows he has assistance to his right side. So good job with the overlap technique right there from Tippmann. Obviously, 10 works into their range. Good job not overcommitting to the block. He gets a hand on, turning more of the tank, not the turret, or sorry, the turret, not the tank. He's turning the top half, but his hips are still relatively square. There's really not much disassociation there, but he does a good job not overcommitting to that, right? Good hand placement into the ribs, eyes into the second level. So that's the first part of the block, overlap. We like that a lot. We like the balance in his stance. We like the knee bend. We like the hand placement. We like the active vice secondarily here. Now, really good job pushing off of him, pushing off of number 10 to I don't know if does he power step? No, he drops his post. So he drops the right leg, which is right now his post. This is his kick. So when this leg then drops behind the left leg, that's going to be called dropping the post. The post becomes a kick. Post becomes a kick. Drop the post. Get hands on 99, I believe that is. Looks like he gets a hand probably into the center of his mass in terms of his chest. As that's happening, still active eyes because he's getting assistance here, so he has the flexibility to maybe look for some other threats. Obviously, it's kind of a little bit of a shit show here, but good job keeping his eyes up, left hand out. Look, a lot of work in one play, but hell of a job, right? Hell of a job from Tippmann. One, again, overlap. Two, hand placement, not overcommitting. Active eyes, push off, drop the post, active eyes again, pick up 50. Like he just did a lot of work there on that one play. So that's a really good play from Tippmann. Tippmann pull angle. Okay, center. Let's see the pull. So this is more like a true pin and pull in terms of and there are adjustments and stuff like that. Like I'm not saying that the coaches may not label that a pin and pull, the one I was talking about before. But like a true base level one is you have the down blocks with the pullers if you have almost like the exact opposite of zone. So he pulls, and this is just a front side pin and pull. It's not a full pin and pull; it's just a front side pin and pull. He pulls, kick out, and he's going to find the linebacker on the angle that he's at. Listen, because he's going to kick him out, and then what is 20 going to do? He's going to widen. He's going to read Tippmann's block, and Tippmann does a good job. Listen, if he's going to expand, take him outside. If he's going to stay inside, keep him inside because the running back is reading you. So you don't want to try to force something here from Tippmann because you have the flexibility based on the scheme where the running back is really reading your block. So good angle to him, tight hands. We see him get there, tight hands, tight elbow angle. Again, relatively low here for Tippmann, for a guy who's 6'6", and is going to run his feet to the outside and give the running back enough room. Let's say if 87 were to execute a good down block right there, instead of not a good down block, then he would have plenty of room here to cut through. Now, there's a couple of other issues here, right? This linebacker does a good job finding it, but nonetheless, Tippmann does a good job. Tippmann does a good job on that pull. Okay, so bad play here. We've seen a little bit of bad, but I'm sure more will come up. Tip base wide, hand feet change high center of gravity. Center right here. One of his problems in the run game is sometimes he leans into blocks and his feet always don't follow him. So you can lean to a block a little bit just to get that leverage, but you have to get good hand placement. You have to get that lift and you have to work into your hands. But there are times where Tippmann just leans into it and then his feet become inactive. He tries to work off the instep. You have to drive your feet. You have to have active feet, right? So comes off the ball here. And again, there are times where your base being wide is good, but you don't want it so wide. And he's flirting with the territory here where his feet are too wide. You want it a little bit wider than your shoulders, but you don't want it too much. And here he's more of in a split than in like a really good spot with his base. Now, if you're gonna like anchor down a guy trying to drive you back, okay, wider base is fine. But when you're trying to drive a guy and you're trying to create movement, this doesn't really allow you to one step comfortably or react to lateral movement. So he's a little bit too wide right there. And then we're seeing the inactivity from the feet. They get engaged. He doesn't really do much with the feet. Ends up leaning wide base. And now he's high. Gets pulled off balance, and partially bumped there by his the left guard here, but not ideal in terms of just this is more the wide punch. And centers do have a really big disadvantage because obviously their hands going between their crotches, they're snapping the ball, so their hands already down, so you're working from that down angle. But still, we see the left hand come very, very wide. We see the feet be a little bit too wide. We see the inactive feet, which sometimes the inactive feet is because your chest is getting driven backwards, so you can't necessarily have active feet and drive through a chest that's contacted because your body's staying forward, and how your feet going to move forward, or your body's staying back, so how your feet going to move forward. It doesn't make sense like body mechanics wise. So it's a combination of things here for Tippmann, but obviously not ideal, right? We see him on his face again there in the run game, which happens too often for him. Too often, yeah. I don't think that's a stretch. We'll see throughout the rest of the review, but I think that's okay to say at this point. Tippmann pull pancake. Okay, we have a pull pancake. We have a sweep to the outside. Not the best position for 13 to be in, trying to squeeze that run back to the outside, take on Tippmann with your outside shoulder, to again squeeze that running back to the inside. Tippmann pulls. He's looking to the outside. Okay, that number 2 is staying to the outside. He knows that his left guard is going to handle that. I said on 13. Sometimes you do want to see him have a little bit better control in the open field, but I think he knew that him 13 trying to squeeze that block was coming, so he loads up into it, lowers his helmet. Hand placements initially it's a good idea. We could see that it slips onto the back a little bit inside the hip, which is not something you necessarily want, but it is what it is. He had so much momentum into that block. He never really slowed down. Good job finding his target area. Good job squaring that up, and obviously explodes through it. You see a little bit of hip roll. Yeah, little bit of a hip roll, fold that, fold him. Now, obviously, he's falls on top of him, which is a good job. Combo timing from Tippmann. Um, so we have a inside zone here from Wisconsin combo. Again, kind of taking them. They're playing this block as it plays out. So if they're going to both contact him and he's more free, he's in a pull, and if they contact him, he knifes inside or he takes on Tippmann. He tries to just take on the one man and it ends up being Tippmann. Then he'll be the high leg and he'll hopefully stay square and climb to the second level. But because most of the contact was on 74, obviously you can't get to the second level, right? So Tippmann, zone step, hands on, again, not overcommitting, turns slightly, but eyes onto the second level. His eyes are onto the second level. And what is he reading? He's reading the linebacker. He doesn't know where the running back is going necessarily. So he's going to read the linebacker. I'm sure if he's going to scrape over the top and try to get there a little bit more quickly, Pittman would leave that block quicker, try to cut him off. And if it happens like it does here, Pittman notices, okay, maybe he has to bend the run back inside, whatever it may be. But clearly he's trying to undercut his block, penetrate through the backside A gap right here. Pittman, good job peeling off with good timing. There's sometimes guys come off a little bit too late, sometimes a little bit too early. But this is perfect from Tippmann as he closes that ground, as he comes to that contact window of about 2 yards, 2.5 yards, peels off of that block, lowers his helmet, hands on. Again, you have the flexibility to be a little bit more wide with your hand placement. Why? Because he's not expecting to get bull rushed and actually legitimately driven back by the linebacker. So he just wants to contain him, which he does. Obviously, hell of a job of. Run does actually does it's a decent run, but obviously it's a very good job by Tippmann on that play. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a it's this is something that's again sometimes seems so small, but it's not. So we have two jet protection. We have